Forget everything you thought you knew about the lost tribes of Israel, because the truth may be encoded in Filipino DNA. Bold claim. Absolutely. But what if I told you that science and scripture might be whispering the same story? One hidden for thousands of years, now ready to be uncovered. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could completely change how you see yourself, your history, and even your faith. The Philippines is home to one of the most diverse genetic profiles on Earth. From the northern Cordilleras to the southern Mindanao Islands, every region tells a unique story written not on paper, but in blood, in DNA. We see a vibrant mix of cultures, languages, and traditions that make up this incredible archipelago. But underneath this beautiful mosaic, there's a deeper, more ancient story. With modern DNA sequencing, scientists are unraveling these ancient threads, tracing how different groups traveled, settled, and mixed across centuries. They're peeling back the layers of history, one genetic marker at a time. The results are fascinating, painting a picture of a people whose origins are far more complex and widespread than previously imagined. And this is where it gets really interesting. We see connections to Southeast Asia, to the wider Austronesian world, and even beyond. But here, the question that makes this more than just science. Could these markers be pointing us to something deeper? Something hidden in plain sight? Researchers say the first settlers of the Philippines thousands of years ago. These were the Negrito peoples, whose genetic lineage is one of the oldest in the region. Then came waves of Austronesians, the seafaring explorers who spread across the Pacific, carrying their language and culture from Taiwan all the way to Madagascar. After them came Malays, Chinese traders, Arab missionaries. Before Magellan ever sailed here, Islam was already influencing the Philippines, and history proves it. And eventually, Spanish colonizers. Each of these migrations left an indelible genetic footprint, creating the rich, complex tapestry we see today. But when scientists examine certain haplogroups, these are specific genetic markers passed down through generations, they found some surprising similarities with populations far beyond Asia. Some of these patterns strangely echo groups linked to the Middle East. Now, let me be absolutely clear. This doesn't prove anything yet. Correlation is not causation, and the world of genetics is incredibly complex. But it sets the stage for a breathtaking question. If these Middle Eastern markers exist, however small, how do they get there? And could they connect to an ancient biblical mystery? In the Bible, we read about the 12 tribes of Israel, the descendants of Jacob. After the reign of King Solomon, the kingdom split in two, Judah in the south and Israel in the north, around 722 BC. The northern kingdom was conquered by the powerful Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians had a policy of mass deportation. They forcibly removed the 10 tribes that made up the kingdom of Israel and scattered them throughout their vast empire. And then they disappeared from history. The Bible tells us they were carried away. And from that point on, the historical record goes silent. These became known as the 10 lost tribes of Israel. For centuries, explorers, scholars, and prophets have asked, where did they go? Did they assimilate completely into the cultures they were exiled to, or did they maintain their identity and travel to the far corners of the earth? As some ancient prophecies suggest, the Jewish historian Josephus wrote that the 10 tribes were beyond the Euphrates till now and are an immense multitude. The question has lingered for millennia. Could they still be among us today, hidden within other nations? And here's the challenge: could some of their bloodlines have traveled east, eventually finding a home right here in the islands of the Philippines? This is where it gets both exciting and controversial, where the worlds of empirical science and sacred scripture begin to intersect. Some independent researchers and Bible students have started to connect these dots. They speculate that certain Filipino DNA markers, those faint echoes of Middle Eastern ancestry, may align with those of ancient Semitic groups including the Israelites. They point to certain cultural practices, linguistic similarities, and oral traditions in some indigenous Filipino communities that seem to have uncanny parallels with ancient Hebrew customs. But we must tread very carefully here. Science is a powerful tool for understanding our physical origins, but it has its limits. It can show us genetic connections, but it can't definitively prove a biblical identity. Scripture is divinely inspired, but our interpretation of it requires deep humility and wisdom. So, what we cannot do is make reckless, definitive claims, but what we absolutely can do is ask the hard questions. Is God showing us hints of a larger story through these scientific discoveries? Is human history far more interconnected than we ever thought? And if so, what does that mean for us today? What does it mean for the Filipino people if even a fragment of this connection is true? It would mean that many Filipinos carry not only a rich cultural heritage shaped by centuries of trade and migration, but possibly a profound prophetic legacy they never knew they had. It would reframe their identity in a global, historical, and even spiritual context. But even if the theory turns out to be just a fascinating coincidence, this journey of discovery shows us something undeniably beautiful: that humanity is one vast, interconnected family. It reveals that from the plains of Africa to the mountains of Asia, from the ancient land of Israel to the thousands of islands in the Pacific, God's creative fingerprints are everywhere. We are all part of a single, sprawling story, woven together by threads of migration, faith, and shared humanity. So, I want to challenge you. What do you think? Could the Philippines truly hold clues to one of the greatest mysteries in biblical history? Or is this simply another powerful reminder that all nations, tribes, and tongues are woven together under God is magnificento, sovereign plan? The search for the lost tribes is more than just an archaeological puzzle. It's a deeply spiritual journey. It's about identity, about belonging, and about understanding our place in a story that's much bigger than ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, you are a part of that story. If this message stirred something in you, if it made you think or question, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video, comment your thoughts and ideas below, and let's keep this important discussion alive. Who knows, the answer to one of the world's oldest mysteries might be hidden in your very DNA. History is not finished, and your identity might be more divine than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more journeys into the fascinating crossroads of faith and history.